newcomers to you, you'd understand poverty. Not because you think newcomers are, particularly, have a genetic propensity for, poverty or other form of marginality, but because you think, oh, they're new to Canada. They don't know the system, they can't find jobs, they don't have networks, they don't speak the language. Yeah, you understand poverty. Maybe they're living in poverty, but you hope over a period of time they'll get out of it. Precisely because they don't have a congenital propensity for marginality. It's not a biological and a genetic propensity, right? It is something that happens because they happen to be new. Okay, I can buy that. If I said to you urban aboriginal, you would understand poverty because we've gotten so used to the fact that we think of our First Nations people as needy people. You never think of why so many years later, these newcomers, oh sorry, they're not newcomers at all, are they? Oh no. The original people of this land still have the same problems as newcomers. Slight discomfort in our discourse of poverty, but nevertheless, they're aboriginal, come on. We don't think of them as part of our modernized nation's issues. They're an anthropological curiosity. Come on. Nobody would ever bother to even stop and think, why is it that in 2009, we are talking about Aboriginal people having the same rates of poverty, if not higher rates of poverty, than newcomers. Think about it. We are rethinking, right? If I said to you single moms, you'd say, yeah, could be. Could be. Why? Because you only have one income. I don't know about you. My spouse doesn't make as much money as I think he ought to be. The man is a Muslim man. What did I tell you? Pressing me and throwing bombs. He has no time for his law practice. I always tell him, man, you owe me. I'm saving you because oppressing me is a full-time job. But like I said, if I said to you single mom, we should buy it. You're not women live in poverty. Because they have one income, and let's face it, nobody bothers to think that why is that one income not sufficient? Is there something wrong with women? That they earn less than men? Come on, there must be. There must be something biological. We've always earned less than men. So of course, we have to think about the fact, why is it that a single mom has a greater propensity to live in poverty than not? If I said to you, people with disabilities or impairment, again, we are used to talking about it. Don't we have a list? I love the way in Canada we are so polite. We have a list of all the people who are marginal, right? And we think we've covered all our bases. Right? We're like, we want a policy that will address racialized people, immigrants, newcomers, aboriginal, impairments, people with disabilities. Done. We've done our equity agenda now. Let's move on. I love that about Canadians. We are so good. We always mention it. We just don't do nothing about it. But we will mention it. Because we think naming alone is sufficient. Hey, I'm grateful. At least they name it. Some people don't even bother to do that. So if I told you that people with disabilities or impairments, however you wish to define it, because I remember reading an article by someone who supposedly is living with disability, and she's like, I'm only disabled because the society makes me disabled. I have an impairment, yes. I can't see. But that doesn't make me disabled. My disability is constructed by society because the bloody society is not geared towards my needs. So depending on how you look at it, but the fact still remains. If you were living with disability or impairment, you could be living in poverty because the society is not made with you in mind. Of course, the question arises, disabled people are not newcomers. in that politically correct list of ours, that people with disabilities could be living in poverty. So then the issue arises, if all these people are living in poverty, we have an understandable solution attached to it, or explanation attached to it, right? Recession, women making less money, Aboriginal people, what can I say? Not up with the modernized world, newcomers, what can we say? Don't have enough contacts and don't have enough networks. People with disabilities, what can we say? Etc., etc. We have explanations for all these things. But what if I were to tell you that poverty, if I were to talk about poverty in terms of high skills, higher than Canadian average, what if I was to say to you, poverty is connected to being highly educated? You're going to look at me and say, what the? And I won't go there. Oh, by the way, I should have actually been very careful. I should have started, we are in the capitalist nation, I should cover all my bases too. I should have started by saying, I come with what, those television, you have these advisories before a show, before a program, it says, may contain coarse language, may have violence, viewer discretion is advised. I should have told you that. I stopped myself because I haven't given you the advisory. Now that I've given you the advisory, I have given myself the green light to go ahead and say whatever the hell I want. So, be prepared. And if you're impressed with my English accent, because I actually speak in an accent that you think is impressive, I just want you to know that no credit goes to me. It goes to 200 years of colonization. You come out of your mother's womb speaking English. I've just refined it over the years. So basically, if I said to you, poverty has to do with the color of your skin, you're going to turn around and say, it's just a coincidence that Aboriginal people, African Canadians who've been here for 10 generations and newcomers who happen to be coming from non-traditional countries, which is, by the way, a euphemism for race. Because what's so non-traditional about us, man? We travel the same way, we leave our homes and come here. We are immigrants and refugees just like those in the past. So what's so non-traditional about us? The non-traditional part is we are no longer coming from Europe. Non-traditional part of us is that we are coming from Africa, Asia, and Latin America because that's where we are having babies. That's where the goddamn population is. Where did you think this was going to come from? Mars?